Hello everyone and welcome back to another video of this section. In this video, we're gonna start designing our first 3D scene together. So what's a 3D scene? As you may guess, a 3D scene is a scene which consists of different 3D objects, okay? So for instance, here we have a scene because we have at least two elements here. However, we are going to create a more interesting scene together. So first of all, let's remove these two objects. Pretty good. I'm gonna keep shadow plane, alright, and I don't need the camera anymore, so let's remove that. And after that, I'm gonna create a text. So let's click on 3D text over there, pretty good. And then I'm gonna change it to UI like this. And let's set this color to B7, 42 and double F like this. Pretty awesome. And then I'm gonna duplicate it and let's change its position and let's change it to UX like this. And after that, I'm gonna change the color to 36, 46 and double F. That's pretty awesome. Let me zoom in and then I'm gonna rotate it by 90 degrees like this. Pretty awesome. And let me move it towards the UI text like this. And once again, I'm gonna rotate it like this. It looks like that the UX is lying on top of UI, okay? Alright, and then I'm gonna decrease the size of UX, okay, by this cube like this. And let's move it to the left side. Pretty awesome. And let's move this UI text a little bit up, because we need to get that shadow. If you remember, when we are using a shadow plane, we need to put our objects above it in order to get a shadow. All right, fantastic. Then let's choose UX here and move it to the left side like this. That's fantastic. However, I'm gonna make UX a little bit smaller. I think now it's better. Pretty good. And the next thing I'm gonna do is adding a wall behind this, okay? So let's go to library and then go to zigzag shapes by vectoring. And here we have a corner wall. So let's click on that. Pretty awesome. I'm gonna zoom out because we need to enlarge this wall. So here, make sure that the wall is selected and use this cube to enlarge it and this cube as well. Pretty awesome. Then what I'm going to do is changing its color. So let's change its color to something like this. That's pretty great. I'm gonna zoom in and then I'm gonna go to library, and this time I'm gonna open up environments like this. And here we have different kind of environments. So for instance, we can try this one. You can drag and drop it like this. And let's render our scene to see how it looks. That's great. However, I'm gonna change it to something else like this one. Remember that the environment that you choose is going to affect the reflections and also shadows, okay? So make sure to choose the best environment possible. Let's try this one as well. I think it's great. Then let's add some 3D assets to our scene. So let's go to assets section and here look for books. And I'm gonna choose this one. Pretty awesome. Let's enlarge it. Fantastic. And I'm gonna look for something else. For instance, a cup of drink like this. Let's make it smaller. Move it to the right side. Fantastic. And we can also add a donut. So let's look for donut. We can add, for instance, this one. It's a low poly donut. I'm gonna make it smaller and put it next to our cup of drink, okay? All right, as you can see, we have a rectangle light. However, I'm gonna add another light to our scene. So let's look for a directional light. Pretty good. I'm gonna zoom out. Let's move it to the right side, rotate it a little bit. I think now it's better. We can also add different objects to our scene in order to make it look more professional and also more complex. However, for the sake of this course, I'm gonna keep it simple. Alright, let's render our scene to see how it looks. It's pretty great, isn't it? You can also go ahead and add some objects from collections. For instance, we can go ahead and open up organic shapes, and here we have different objects like this one. Let's scale it down. Or you could use another object, for instance rounded shapes like this one. It depends on you and the project you're working on, so make sure to choose great objects in order to create the best combination possible. Alright guys, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it, and in the next video we will talk about rendering and exporting. So see you then.